Hey folks, welcome back to another episode of D-Ray's Garage, where today we're here to talk about something that I'm hoping will revolutionize the oil change, make you more apt to perhaps tackle it. Today's car will be the Hyundai Palisade that I'm doing the oil change on. I won't show the full procedure, I'll link that up here. So if you want to just see how to change a Hyundai Palisade 2020 plus, you can go check that out. But the objective here is to basically demonstrate the Valvomax system and kind of just see, what we think about that. Now, if you've ever, like me, done oil changes, it doesn't seem to matter what car it is. This is what happens.
Except I didn't quite get aligned on where it was going to droop. There we go.
What is going on here? God, look at this oil.
I'll keep the, oh, there we go. Now we're getting the problems.
What is going on here? Uncanny, right? So, when I saw this system, when Vic out in DFW said, "Hey Daniel, I got my eyes on this system here from a company named Valvomax down in Houston, Texas," it piqued my interest. And so I reached out to Mike over there. He'd just been to SEMA out in Vegas and won an award. So Valvomax won an award for this system. So now I'm really amped up to give it a whirl. The essence of it is we have this little valve system. This replaces your drain plug, and then it has a screw top on it. And then we have this little pipe here with a screw thread, which will unlock the oil there, which will feed down this little tube, and there are longer tubes, into this funnel receiver, into this bag, which I assume will expand some. We'll figure that out. And then you just hump this straight down to your local oil recycling center, O'Reilly's, AutoZone, wherever you go with that. So that's pretty slick. And then you've kind of got the crush washer on this unit. It's got a 24 mil hex little screw top on there. So we're going to use this Cobalt. I don't have a 24 to secure that on there. And we're going to try it out. Additionally, they've got these cool little funnels, these disposable funnels. If you've ever missed when you're repouring your oil, you'll appreciate that. And then over here, they have a little dipstick wiper. Now, in my situation, it's got the clamp and a little container box. I'm not sure I need to take a dipstick checker with me wherever I go, but if you have an unreliable car, a tractor, some such, maybe a common practice for you. If you know you're bleeding a lot of oil, this will help you accurately check your dipstick any place, anytime. So, let's give it a whirl, see how it all works out. I figured we'd just put this together here before we get under the car, because it's just inherently more comfortable. You want to keep a hold of this for when you're running to your automotive store. Just put this around here. So that's secured on there, and I think there's some, like a latching mechanism. I'll have to figure out which is on and off, but I'm sure that'll be something pretty quick to figure out. And then we'll probably want to stuff that on there. All right, so this is the receiving end. And then here's our picture. I just thought it might be cool to see this up close. So as you can see, it's just threaded, a lot of rubber gaskets on there, and then there's the check valve or the ball bearing valve inside. So that's what that looks like. And then during, in between changes, you've got a combination of the check valve and then this unit here to keep it all protected. Now, one question I have, if I was driving the Porsche, would I want this much exposed beneath the belly pan on a low riding car? I don't know the answer to that. On the Hyundai, it makes more sense to me. So kind of something to think about there is, these on the Porsches, they tend to be pretty flush fit to the base of the oil pan. I don't think that's going to do that. So is that, inch and a half there, is that acceptable? So the next thing you want to do is knock that off and bust the world. The other thing to consider here is the filter housing. You still have to get maybe a smaller bucket, and you have to replace your filter. So while this eliminates a ton of the mess and the splashes, the filter housing units tend to be a separate component that is not yet solved for. So Mike, jump on that, would you?
All right, so maybe it's obvious to you, but you have to do your initial oil change in order to get the new drain plug system on here for the Valvomax. So I've been emptying this for a period of time here. So I'm going to just thread this in, hopefully not drop it in the oil pan. So there is a crush washer and it is rubberized, so that should be good for several oil changes there. So we're going to get it snugged up and then we'll just give it a couple of ugga-duggas with it. So in order to secure this down, I've taken the lid part off so we can put on a 24mm socket over the top and secure it on here. Nice and snug. Just want to feel that crush washer just kind of pinch in. Then you can replace this. Make sure it goes over your rubber gasket. And then back in business. And now let's go drop some oil in it up top through these funky little funnels. And then we can draw some oil back out. See how that works.
Oh, go a little slower than that.
Okie dokie. So we got this container here. I think I have to probably let the air out and then make it a full cube. Come on. There we go. That's the shape that nature intended for you. And then we'll put on this guy again. So you can see here I'm on just on ramps and a couple of feet up. So there's plenty of rope here on this tube. So I've got, I don't know, I didn't fill up the thing up top for obvious reasons. So let's make sure we're not leaking when we do that. Not a drop. So you can see in the end there, hopefully, there's a little kind of protruding part. That's what's going to push in that ball bearing up there and start to release. Now, how do I, which is going to let the air in here? I'm not sure. Anyway, we'll cross that bridge. So let's push this on. And hopefully oil starts to release without spilling anywhere. There we go. All right, it's going in, so I'm guessing there's not too much air restriction there. And the bag's inflating. Oh, actually, let's just see. Let's see what happens if we pop it out. Does it go any faster? No, it basically stops. That's more like it. Okay. All right, so we got our bag of oil down here ready to go. Let's release this and see how the check valve, how quickly it closes up so we don't get any more oil. So it should just, the check valve should kick into place. And then, oh, forgot to keep an eye on that, dummy. All right, and then secure that on there. Just snug that up. Clean up my small amount of oil mess, which is way less than usual. And let's go up top and fill it for real this time. But yeah, now I'm ready to just run down to AutoZone with the oil. I like that part a lot.
So I've got the 6.5 quarts back in here using this funnel. I can see why this funnel is okay, but it will spill over if you get, if you kind of fight the vacuum. So I'm not in love with the funnels. I mean, I get it, it works. But you have to be more careful. And when you're beast mode like me, careful doesn't really come into the equation. So let me get it down and flat. Then we can check out this little oil slick dipstick checker. Let's try this little oil slick doohickey here. Got a slip down there so we can check the level. So clear it off. It's supposed to be super absorbent, good for 500 swipes. So we've got our 2 dots on there. I'm not sure you'll be able to see them from there. I'll bring it over when we see what level we're at. So there's that. Just hold it on there. We are, I don't know if you can see, it doesn't really matter to you that much, but we're at 3/4 here. So that's gonna work. So that's the short and tall of it. Here's our oil, ready to go to our favorite oil recycler. This was not that messy, as you saw. Counterintuitively to me, it was down to let the air in and lock that piece, I guess, and then that would prevent that. So that's what that system does. So that's air versus not. The valve worked like a dream. It wasn't gushing when it released. Didn't love the funnels. I think I like my round funnels fitting in there better, but that's just because I go beast mode when I'm refilling with oil. But overall, other than that being a fairly slow pour, and my oil was a little cold to be fair, that might be the only thing. But the cleanliness of it, the idea that I can go straight to O'Reilly's with this versus pouring out from a big old pan and spilling and splatting everywhere, I think I'm a convert. So I do stand by the idea that if you have a Porsche like me and you're going to stick out the bottom of it another 1.5 inches, I don't think there's room for that. But any cars that point backwards or that have high clearance, definitely something you should consider. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Think if this will embolden you to tackle more of your oil change events or not. In the meantime, be memorable, be well, and I hope to see you on another video soon.